Hello, my name is Amber, and I am a certified yoga instructor at the University of Cincinnati. And today we'll be doing a gentle yoga practice focused on autumn. So we're going to come to your yoga mat. And you don't need to have any props for today's practice, although if you do have a blanket, I generally recommend that. And if you're someone who finds it helpful to have a block or a book or similar object, then you might like to have that as well, but those are completely optional for today's practice. So we'll go ahead and get started by finding a comfortable seat on your yoga mat. You do want to make sure that you're barefoot for the practice today. Also having some water nearby is always a good idea, if possible. I like to sit on my blanket. I find that elevating my hips makes it more comfortable for me to sit with an upright spine. So if that is, again, helpful to you, then that is your choice. But try to find what feels good to you today as you settle into a comfortable seat. But make sure you're being intentional to sit with an upright spine. So sit up nice and tall, find that really good posture here. And then let your shoulders relax down and back so that you're comfortable and relaxed while sitting up tall. Your eyes can be open or closed as we get started here. We're just going to take a few moments of stillness in this comfortable seat today to connect to your breath. And start to gently breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. And breathe out. And just try to stay with this steady, even breath as best as you can throughout the practice. So if it ends up being more of a 3 or 5 count breath, that's fine as well. The 4 count is just a nice starting point. So as you sit here with this breath, we'll just start to set an intention. Maybe if your eyes are open, you choose to look outside if there's a window nearby and just observe your surroundings. As we are in the midst of the autumn season now, if you're doing this in real time with me anyway. So autumn, the season between summer and winter, comprising in the northern hemisphere, usually during the months of September, October, November, or is reckoned astronomically extending from the autumn equinox to the winter solstice. It's also referred to as fall. And the fall is considered more of a yin type of year. So if you ever heard of yin and yang, the different sides, aspects that we all have within us. It basically means we're entering a more dormant or yin phase of the year. It's a more of a passive time for rest, contemplation, and renewal. Time to slow down and take time to reflect, perhaps on achievements, thoughts, or just taking in whatever's going on around you, whatever's coming up in your mind, and just being present with that, whatever it is that comes up without any judgment. So if you're kind of feeling a tendency to get cozy and maybe turn inward, maybe you're feeling a little less social, maybe you're feeling a little bit more geared towards introversion or wanting to settle in and read a book or a movie and get cozy, maybe don't quite fight those urges and just recognize that it's all a cycle. So that's a natural part of this time of the year. We are naturally inclined to feel that way. It's built into our system. If you think about animals that go into hibernation, in the winter, and birds that fly south for the winter, everyone's kind of gearing up, getting into that mode. So we're just kind of naturally feeling inclined to slowing down a little bit more at this time. Whereas, as the cycles go, eventually we'll come back to spring and summer, which are more active, more yang type seasons, if you will, where we might feel more inclined to put ourselves out there and feel a little bit more energetic, if you will. So it doesn't mean you won't have any energy. It just means that it's kind of a good time to slow down, look inward, and just take care of yourself if you're feeling those tendencies to do so. And don't try not to judge yourself. So maybe your intention today, we start to set our intention for today's practice, just something soothing, something uplifting to you, something positive that you would like to use this time on the mat to focus on. And we will start moving in just a few moments here. But maybe it's taking this time to slow down and to reflect, It's time to kind of focus on internal spaces, if you will. So, we're doing some gentle forward folds to help us to focus inwards, as well as some grounding practices to help us to stay centered amongst transformations, changes, and things like that might be going on around us, as well as some exercises using muscle to kind of create some heat in the body today. So just kind of sit here with this breath and intention. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. We'll start with some warm-up movements here. And inhale, reach your arms, just gently reach your arms overhead, there's no rush. And then exhale, slowly just kind of rain it back down. And then roll your shoulders up by your ears. Inhale, exhale, release them down and back. Do a couple more times on your own. Just kind of releasing any pressure in our shoulders, and then just allow your shoulder blades to relax down your back. And gently shake your head yes a few times. Shake your head no. Release tension in your neck. And then slide your chin, or slide your left ear just toward your left shoulder. Not meant to touch, just a gentle stretch along the side of your neck. Just take a breath in. And exhale out, slide your chin back through center and come up. And then other side, just slide your right ear in that direction towards your shoulder and take another breath in here. And exhale out, slide it back down through center. And then from here, we'll scoot your feet behind you and make your way onto your hands and knees for your tabletop. You can always put a blanket or something under your knees for extra cushion if you want. Fingers spread wide, shoulders over your wrist, hips over your knees with a flat back. For tabletop, we'll just move into some gentle, slow moving cat and cows today to warm up your spine. Inhale, look forward. And into your cow, and then exhale, gaze down towards your navel to round into your cat. Inhale, sway forward into your cow. And exhale into your cat. We'll just do this a couple more times here. And we'll make your way back to your tabletop, back to your hands and knees. Knees can stay close together, or you can take them a little wider apart. And sink your seat to your heels for child's pose. You can stretch your arms out in front of you, really getting that nice stretch along your shoulders and upper back. Or you might form a little pillow with your hands and just rest into the pose that way. And continue to breathe in. And breathe out. And just know that you can come back to this or anything that feels like a safe space for you at any time in your practice. We'll take a couple more breaths here. This gentle and passive stretch for your back and shoulders, reducing external distractions, quieting the mind. Let's take one more breath here. Press down to the palms of your hands, and now shift forward back to your tabletop, back to your hands and knees. Fingers spread wide, shoulders over your wrists, or you can take your wrist out a little wider than your shoulders if you want extra space. Begin to curl your toes under and lift up to find the upside down V with your body downward facing dog. You might keep a little bend in your knees, totally fine. Maybe straighten them, maybe kind of walk it out a little bit, especially this first go around, this first downward dog. And then while we're here, let's take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, big sigh out through your mouth. And then come back to your steady rhythmic breath. And inhale, lift your heels off the earth. Exhale to bend your knees. Inhale, gently step your feet forward to meet your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Just let your head hang heavy. Hands may or may not touch the floor. And if you have a block or something, you can always place it underneath your hands to kind of bring the ground up to you. Otherwise, it's no big deal either way. Just find what works for you. You might keep a little bend in your knees. And really just try to focus on grounding your legs and feet here feeling stable, feeling supported, even when maybe the world feels like a crazy place around you. You find that inner stability, the inner peace within, while focusing on your breath, Uttanasana. And then let's put a little bend in your knees if you haven't already. Press down to your feet. Inhale, slowly roll up to standing a little bit at a time. So your head and shoulders come up last. There's no rush to get here. And then we'll find ourselves standing at the top of your mat. Feet parallel to one another. They can be close together or up to hip width apart. Shoulders relaxed, down and back. Standing up tall. So again, an upright spine, rooting down through the soles of your feet, while lengthening up through the crown of your head, finding that balance between rooting down while also lifting up at the same time. Finding that sturdiness, that stability within, feeling your feet grounded on the earth, feeling stable, safe, and secure within yourself. So inhale, reach your arms overhead, clasp your hands together, and exhale, lean out to the left, side body stretch. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, other side. Let's take another breath while we're here. Loosen things up. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release your arms to the side. Feel free to move your shoulders if you want. And then back to mountain pose. From here, we'll step your right foot back and come to a wide leg stance so that your hips and your body's, the front of your body is facing towards the long end of your mat. Take your hands to your waist. Make sure your hips are both staying level and facing forward. Right toes stay facing in front of you. So you begin to pivot on your left foot, so your left toes face out towards that short edge of your mat. If you look down, your left heel should be in line with your right arch. Again, hips are still level. So we start to put a bend in that left knee stacked right over your ankle. So you should be able, if you look down, make sure you can see at least your big toe here. Using both legs, again, a balance of both legs working together. And then inhale, arms out to a T. Exhale, look out over your left fingertips for Warrior Two. Virabhadrasana B. And find that strength, that sturdiness as you root down through both feet. But your crown of your head still lengthening up, so we're still in that mountain pose from here on up. Take another breath in, another breath out. Inhale, Exalted Warrior. Slide that right arm down your leg, left arm reaches up and over alongside your ear. That knee stays bent if that feels okay to you. And then inhale, come back up again. Exhale, release your arms to the side, straighten your leg, and pivot on your left foot so toes are facing forward. Open your right toes out to the side. And check in with everything, your feet, your hips, all of that as you bend into the right knee. And as you're ready, take your arms out to the side, look out over your right fingertip, and Warrior Two. Virabhadrasana B. And breathe in. And breathe out through your nose. Inhale, lift it up. Find that side body stretch. Exhale here. Inhale, come back up, Warrior Two. Inhale. Exhale, release your arms, straighten your leg. And then we're going to, let's start by pivoting so that both your feet are facing forward, okay? Your hands to your waist. And then from here, pivot on your feet so your toes just go out to about 45-degree angle here. So just a little bit out to the side, shoulders relaxed, down and back. As we start to bend both your knees. Now, if you notice your knees going inward, that's not good. So try to, again, do what you can to bring your knees out so they're closer to being over your feet as you sink your hips down. Chest is still lifted and open. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, take your arms out to a cactus. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Goddess pose. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. You've got this, so trust yourself. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, sink back into it. Create a little heat in the body now, warming ourselves up as the temperatures cool outside. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sink it down. Do this one more time. Inhale, come up. Exhale, sink it down and hold. And we'll stay here for about 2 or 3 breaths. You You can always do a little bit less or a little bit more. It's up to you. And inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. One more breath in. Feel like heat in your legs. One more breath out. Inhale, come on up. Whew. Exhale, release your arms down to the side and just kind of shake it out a little bit and walk your feet back together and come back to standing at the top of your mat in your mountain pose. So for mountain pose, let's step that left foot behind you. Check that your hips are level and facing forward. Your left toes are about 45 degrees out too. So not all the way out, but not all the way in. And then from here, start to bend that front knee and make sure you can see your big toe. And when you're ready, inhale, reach your arms overhead, warrior one. You can bring your palms together if you want, but if you have any tension in your shoulders, I suggest keeping some space, keeping it open. But you can play around with both and see how it feels for you. Come back to your breath. Come back to your intention. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release your arms to the side, straighten that front leg, and step back up to mountain pose. So bring your palms to heart center, and start to root down through your right foot, through your right leg. So standing really strong and sturdy, without forcing anything, just staying really sturdy through that right leg. Start to look forward, find a drishti or steady gazing point that you can focus on. You begin to lift, feel your left ankle off the floor, or your left heel off the floor. Slide your left knee out to the side. Take your left heel to your right ankle. Optional, you could stay right here, totally fine. Maybe you want to play around with walking your foot up your leg, either above or below your knee. Palms can stay here at heart center. You can take them out to the side. That can be great for helping with balance. If you're like me, and balance is a growth opportunity for you. Or you can always use the wall. I have one behind me. It's kind of like a wall ceiling, but you can always reach out to the side or whatever. There's no harm in that. You can have your palms at heart center, out to the side, or reach them overhead. Tree pose, Vrikshasana. And trying to stay sturdy even if you're wavering a little bit. Your tree pose, really rooting down, feeling your roots grounded through that standing leg. Let's bring that front knee forward and release your foot, release your arms, and just kind of shake it off a little bit. And we'll step back up to our mountain pose, back to Tadasana. And same little sequence on the other side. This time we'll step your right foot back. Toes about 45-degree angle. Check in with your hips as you bend into that front knee, and then sweep your arms overhead into your warrior one, Virabhadrasana A, if you want to get fancy about it. And just breathe. Feel your legs working. Feel your chest lengthening, lifting up. Breathe in. Breathe out. And exhale, release your arms to the side, straighten your front knee, your straight front leg, and step up to the top of your mat. Once again, mountain pose. This time we'll start to root down through your left foot, through your left leg. Let's all start with your palms at heart center. Find that gazing point, something out in front of you that's ideally not moving around that you can use to focus on. So you begin to slide that right knee out to the side. Take your heel to your ankle. Remember, all of this is still in that sturdy mountain pose. And then play around with it. Take any variation of your tree that you would like. So maybe you stay here with your toes on the floor, and maybe you walk your foot up your leg, as long as it's not against your knee. And maybe whatever hand variation works for you. Vrikshasana tree pose. Just make sure that wherever you go with this, that you're maintaining that steady, rhythmic breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. And inhale, bring that front knee forward. Exhale, release both feet to the floor. Release your arms and just kind of give it a little shake out. Shake it off any tension. You roll your shoulders up and back a few times here. And come back to your mountain pose Tadasana. And find that sturdiness. You're down through your feet, length up through the crown of your head. Come back to that intention. Just remember, there is no rush here. Everything will happen in due time. Just let it go, let it be. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, dive it forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up to a flat back. Exhale, fold. And then bend your knees however much you need to place your hands on the floor beside your feet and step one foot back, followed by the other, and come to downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal it out or make any movements that feel good to you, or maybe just find a place of stillness this go around. Just take another breath in through your nose. Exhale, big sigh out through your mouth. Let it loose. And then return back to that steady rhythmic breath. Breathing in. Breathing out. Take one more breath in here. And exhale, lower your knees down to the earth. Then we'll just slide your feet over to one side, so it doesn't matter which side that it is. But we're going to come back to a seat, and optional to grab a blanket or a pillow to sit on here, if you like. And just come to a seat with your knees bent in front of you and your feet on the floor. Hands can just come to the side. Use your hands to press down the floor, really lengthen up through the crown of your head. So again, we're sitting up tall. Inhale. And then exhale a little bit at a time with your knees bent. Just gently start to fold over your legs. And just let your head rest towards your knees, and they may or may not be touching. Take your hands out to your legs or your feet in front of you, or you might like to clasp your hands towards your wrists or elbows underneath, whatever feels good to you. Just take this time again in our forward fold to just turn inward. Focus on those internal spaces. Check in with yourself. And have a quiet moment here as you gently lengthen your spine. Take a couple breaths and pause for a moment here. What do you need right now? How do you feel? Just sit with that. And now slowly start to make your way all the way back up, a little bit at a time. Extend your legs out in front of you. Just kind of shake out your legs a little bit here if you want. And we'll take your legs out wide, like a V or an L shape here. So sitting up tall, shoulders relax down and back. We'll bring your right knee in towards your body. And then just take that foot alongside that straight leg. You let your knee rest towards the earth. If it doesn't quite touch the floor, that's fine. If that bothers you, you can always put a block or cushion or blanket or whatever you have underneath that knee to close out that space. Begin to turn your torso to look out over that straight leg. So up tall, lengthen. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And then exhale a little bit at a time without pinching or hurting your back. So let's take it slow and start to walk your hands down your leg. And there's no rush. You might touch your toes, but it's not really about that. Just looking for the nice hamstring stretch here. You can take another moment to fold inward. Breathe in. And breathe out. Janu Shirshasana. Head to knee. Take one more breath here. Inhale, start to walk your hand up your leg. Make your way back up. If you have something under your knee, you can set that aside and stretch both your legs out in front of you once again. And then we'll do the other side. Bring your left knee in. Slide your foot alongside that leg. Your knee towards the earth. Maybe you put something underneath it. Maybe you don't. Begin to turn to look out over your straight leg. Inhale, lengthen your torso. Reach your arms overhead. And exhale a little bit at a time. Remember, we're focusing more on coming forward than down. So come forward first, and then eventually, maybe you don't even really come down. Maybe you just come like here. That's totally fine. And make sure there isn't any pinching or pain in your back, or maybe you start to round a little bit from there if that's feeling good to you. I'll take a couple of breaths here. And now start to walk your hands up your leg a little bit at a time and make your way back up to your seat, your neutral spine. And then extend both legs out again for a moment and then bring them back together. Knees bent in front of you, feet on the floor. Let's just wrap your left hand, or your right hand, sorry, around one or both knees. As you reach your left arm overhead, exhale, send it behind you, a little teepee twist. Inhale, sits you up tall, find that length in your spine first. Exhale, twist from there. You feel it around your core, around the center of your body, wringing out those intestines and digestive organs, allowing us to feel nice and fresh. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind from your twist, and we'll do the other side. Wrap your left arm around one or both knees, you reach your right arm up, and exhale, send it behind you, and turn, look out over your shoulder, in your teepee twist. We'll take a couple breaths here. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind from your twist. And then from here, we're going to roll back onto your knees and make your way all the way down onto your stomach. So take a few moments here to make your way onto your stomach. And just relax on your stomach for a moment. When we get there, let's bring your arms back. So your thumbs are in line with your ribs. Tops of your feet are pressing into the floor. Draw your shoulders back as you start to squeeze your shoulder blades together, lifting your chest just a little bit of time. So you can even do a little baby cobra. It's a little back bend, see how it feels. And exhale, release it down. Inhale one more time, let's lift up. You do a low cobra, maybe come a little higher if you're one for back bend. Find a little back bend. If you're open through your chest, take one more breath in. And exhale a little bit of time. Come forward, rest your chin to one side, take your arms to the side. And then from here, inhale to lift everything you can from this position. So lift your arms, lift your legs, crown of your head lengthens forward, feet reach back. See if you can lift. A lot of times I find it's easier to lift my chest than my legs. So I'm going to try, if you see, you find that's you, see if you can lift your legs a little bit higher. Really using those back muscles to support you here. Locust pose. Strengthening the muscles of the back of your body, lengthening, stretching through the front of your body. Let's take one more breath in. And exhale, release it down. Rest your chin to the opposite side. Take a breather for a moment here. And then bring your hands forward. And we're going to press up to your tabletop. Take your knees out pretty wide here. You can take them out as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. And sink your seat to your heels for a nice wide-kneed child's pose. Stretch your arms out in front this time if that feels okay to you. Really feeling that length and release in your spine. We're going to pause and take about 5 breaths here. Breathe in. Breathe out, come back to your intention. Notice your breath, and just take this moment here. Perhaps reflect on your day. So you focus on inner spaces. Slow down, acknowledge your effort to come to the mat, and slow down and take this time to be present to yourself and what that means to you, what significance that kind of self-care has on your day, on your life, on what kind of energy you're able to put out towards others and other things in your day and in your week and in your life in general. Take another breath here. Let it feel good. And inhale, come back up to your tabletop. And we'll just slide your feet over to one side, and from here we're just going to make your way on to your back. And just lower all the way onto your back. When you get there, just give your knees a little hug into your chest, maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Just kind of let it feel good on your back here. And winding down our practice, extend your legs and stretch your body long. Extend your legs out, reach your arms back and over, up over your head. And take another deep breath in through your nose. And exhale, let it go out through your mouth. As you release your arms down to the side. And just start to make any final movements or adjustments that feel good to you. Just get yourself really relaxed and into a place to be ready for our final pose. One of our most important poses of the practice, our corpse pose, Shavasana, our final relaxation. You might put blankets or pillows underneath you, maybe straighten your legs if that bothers your back. You can bend your knees, take your feet out about as wide as your mat and rest your knees against each other. It's really up to you, but are mostly lying down on your back with your legs out in front of you in some way. Your arms to the side, maybe your palms are facing upward, maybe your hands are on your chest or belly to help you feel a little bit more stable and grounded. Whatever you're feeling like today, and just once you get there, just let your shoulders, your back completely sink into the floor and relax. Give yourself permission to just only be here for a few minutes, but just take these next few minutes for complete relaxation. Let everything else go, let everything else fall to the wayside. Let your eyes gently close if you haven't already, and just return back to your natural breath as we settle in for Shavasana, or corpse pose. It's the final pose of our practice. It symbolizes the death of the practice, which if you look around in the fall, everything's essentially dying so that it can eventually regrow. It's all a cycle. So letting go, letting die anything that's not serving you at this time. Accepting things that might be dying or ending, and their subsequent new beginnings that inevitably will follow. And try to find stability amidst changes that might be taking place around you. And just relax into it. We'll take another minute here of just quiet space for Shavasana. If you'd like to, feel free to pause this video and stay here for as long as you'd like. It does not make you lazy, it does not make you unproductive. It means that you're taking care of yourself and taking time to refuel and re-energize so that you have more energy to put your best self forward. Otherwise, whenever you're ready, just begin to deepen your breath, drawing energy back into your body. Start to make any movements that feel good to you. You're wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Maybe stretch your body long again as if it were the first of the day. Just kind of bringing yourself back out from your Shavasana. And eventually give your knees a hug into your chest. Give yourself a little hug here. And gently roll over to your right side. Pause for a moment here in fetal pose. And you can go ahead and stay there for a moment in fetal pose. The trees are about to show us how lovely it is to let the dead things go. It's anonymous. And mindfully begin to make your way back up to your seat. And as you do so, just take a brief moment here of gratitude towards yourself for taking this time out to come to your practice. Maybe find more deeper appreciation for the autumn season, the little subtleties of the changing leaves, or maybe it's raindrops on your window, or the crisp air on your skin when you step outside, or whatever that is for you. And just find gratitude for that, as you also find gratitude for yourself for coming to this practice, and simply for being you and providing all the gifts that you provide to the world and everyone around you. So inhale, reach your arms overhead one more time, sealing out the practice. Exhale your palms down to your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this practice helpful and enjoyable, and I hope to see you back again soon. Again, my name's Amber. As always, take really good care of yourself. Bye.